Chapter 1. Wilderness Beginnings. In the year 1776, when the 13 American colonies gave to the world their famous Declaration of Independence, there was a captain of Virginia militia living in Rockingham County named Abraham Lincoln. He had a 210-acre farm deeded to him by his father, John Lincoln, one of the many English, Scotch, Irish, German, Dutch settlers who were taking the green hills and slopes of the Shenandoah Valley and putting their plows to unbroken ground long held by the Indians. Those Lincolns in Virginia came from Berks County in Pennsylvania and traced back to Lincolns in New England and Old England. There was a strain of Quaker blood in them. They were a serene, peaceable, obstinate people. Abraham Lincoln had taken for a wife Bathsheba Herring, who bore him 3 sons, Mordecai, Josiah, and Thomas, and 2 daughters, Mary and Nancy. This family Abraham Lincoln moved to Kentucky in 1782. For years, his friend Daniel Boone, coming back from trips to Kentucky, had been telling of valleys there rich with black land and blue grass, game and fish, tall timber, and clear-running waters. It called to him, that country Boone talked about, where land was 40 cents an acre. Abraham Lincoln sold his farm. They packed their belongings and joined a party heading down the Wilderness Road through Cumberland Gap and up north and west into Kentucky. Abraham Lincoln located on the Green River, where he filed claims for more than 2,000 acres. One day, about 2 years later, he was working in a field with his 3 sons, and they saw him in a spasm of pain fall to the ground, just after the boys had heard a rifle shot and the whine of a bullet. The boys yelled to each other, "Indians!" Mordecai ran to a cabin nearby. Josiah started to cross fields and woods to a fort to bring help. 6-year-old Tom stooped over his father's bleeding body and wondered what he could do. He looked up to see an Indian standing over him, a shining bangle hanging down over the Indian's shoulder close to the heart. Then Tom saw the Indian's hands clutch upward, saw him double with a groan and crumpled to the ground. Mordecai, with a rifle at a peephole in the cabin, had aimed his shot at the shining bangle. Little Tom was so near he heard the bullet plug its hole into the red man. Thomas Lincoln, while growing up, lived in different places in Kentucky with kith and kin, sometimes hiring out to farmers, mostly in Washington County. Between whiles he learned the carpenter's trade and cabinet making. In his full growth he was about 5 feet 9, weighed about 185 pounds, his muscles and ribs close-knit. His dark hazel eyes looked out from a round face from under coarse black hair. He could be short-spoken or reel off sayings, yarns, jokes. He made a reputation as a storyteller. He had little or no time for books, could read some, and could sign his name. Thomas Lincoln, at 19, had served in the Kentucky State Militia. At 24, he was appointed a constable in Cumberland County. The next year, he moved to Hardin County and served on a jury. He was trusted by a sheriff and paid by the county to guard a prisoner for 6 days. In the county jail, he could see men bolted behind bars for not paying their debts, and at the public whipping post both white and black men lashed on their naked backs. He saw prisoners in the stocks kneeling with hands and head clamped between 2 grooved planks. If a prisoner was dead drunk, he was laid on his back with his feet fastened in the stocks till he was sober. In 1803, Thomas Lincoln, for the sum of 118 pounds in hand paid, bought a 238-acre tract near Mill Creek, 7 miles north of Elizabethtown, the county seat of Hardin County. In March 1805, he was one of 4 patrollers appointed in Hardin County to seize suspicious white characters or Negro slaves roving without permits. In March 1806, he was hired by Blakely and Montgomery, storekeepers in Elizabethtown, to take a flatboat of their merchandise down the Ohio and Mississippi rivers to New Orleans, earning 16 pounds in gold and a credit of 13 pounds in gold. Account books of the store had him occasionally buying 2 twists of tobacco,